on this webinar. I'm grateful for them as a value-added distributor for Luxonis products. As he mentioned, my name is Tony Rassavong, Chief Revenue Officer here at Luxonis. Previously, I worked at Ubiquity as a channel director for about 8 years. And then we have Erik Kokalj as well, Director of Application Engineering, and he handles our technical portion.
Hello, everyone.
So we'll go ahead and get started. So first of all, we want to go over our vision as well as products, industries, and types of customers we work with. So my hope by the end of this, you'll know a little bit more about us and know where you can use our Oak cameras in your application. So we believe that over the next 20 years, nearly all blue-collar work, production, QA, delivery, mining, monitoring, etc., will be at least assisted, if not replaced, by robotic automation. So with this in mind, our founder in 2018 set out to create a smart bike camera to detect and prevent distracted drivers from striking road cyclists. So as you can see in that picture there, you can buy a milk crate, a RealSense camera for depth, a GoPro for 4K, NCS2 for AI processing, Texas Instrument DS processor to do the CV processing, and a Raspberry Pi to tie it all together. Here's what it's going to look like. There we go. And you like a direct shot? You like almost minutes, so just like cool. So as you can see, coupled these things together that were expensive, bulky, and became not very reliable or efficient to attach to the bike. Here's what the concept and initial design looked like. So the initial design encompasses those 5 things that are needed. Something that was embedded, small size, low weight, low power, high performance, high frame rate, low latency, IMU, spatial for disparity depth and time of flight. And then on-device AI and CV. So what this means is that you'll be able to take all that data, which is processing nearly 10 gigabytes per second, and is able to do all the AI and CV functions, then able to do really cool things like running a neural network model based on any way you're perceiving the world. So here's what it looks like today. We offer the USB-C or PoE powered devices that can help you solve real world problems and make sure that it's more efficient using Oak cameras. And speaking on efficiency, when we set out as a company to make an impact in this world, we saw that it took $2 million and 2 years to develop and implement a robotic vision system. With Luxonis cameras, you can start with a $200 in about 2 hours to implement a robust robotic vision system. And a lot of companies typically focus on one of the things listed here, either a hardware company, a software company, or focus on the cloud or AI simulation. But we at Luxonis offers the full stack. And as you scale and need to manage thousands of cameras, Robot Hub, our cloud controller, will be able to manage all of that for you. And we'll discuss a little bit about Robot Hub later on today. So in speaking to our founder, he actually started the idea back in 2016, 2017, working on the concept that I showed you earlier. But Luxonis in 2019 was officially founded and started building a product platform. In 2020, we launched our Oak D on Kickstarter, which generated $1.4 million and 6,600 backers. And in 2021, we launched the Oak D Lite, generated over $1 million and had 8.6 thousand backers. And in 2022, we launched that Robot Hub that we'll be able to discuss later on today as well. It's a cloud API solution to enable customer to query data continuously to improve their AI training and performance And a lot of people ask who our customers are. And we can probably say that we currently in all these verticals right now. We will talk about some of them later today. Our beachhead is robotic perception. We are the eyes and brains of hardware, machinery, robots in any industry. Our team is diverse and highly dense throughout the world. Our founder and board member is Brandon Gillis. Vlad is our co-founder and CTO. You have myself. Bradley Dillon is our new CEO. And then Erik is one of our first employees as our director of applications engineering. We have offices all over Europe. In Asia, we have it in Hong Kong and Taiwan. And our headquarters is near the Denver, Colorado area. So our largest competitor in this space is Intel RealSense. So last year, they announced that they were leaving the market. And then a few months later, they announced they were coming back. So customers had low confidence or were looking for alternative. That's how a lot of people have started or will start using Oak cameras, because we will and have been fielding a lot of those calls today. Here's the biggest advantages for Oak versus Intel. So the additional on-device features, the AI and CV, with the video encoding, tracking standalone mode, the Python scripting, high-resolution color camera, embedded, integratable to any custom product with our system on module, sets us apart. As you can see there, the depth or our spatial AI cameras can see what the difference there. With the RealSense cameras, you only get depth. With Oak cameras, with Oak cameras, you get much more. And if you'd like to learn more, you can head over to our website after the webinar. And I'll pause there and hand this over to Erik.
Yeah, so we can look more into the technical side as well. So first, let's check our software platform. So we call it Depth AI, and it consists of a few layers. So first is the actual firmware that's running on the VPU, which is an embedded system. So there's a lot of complexity there that's being abstracted by the Depth AI. We have the actual API, so that's the Depth AI API that communicates with the Oak cameras and allows you to construct the pipelines that you can then run on the device itself. The API is available in C++, and we also have bindings for Python and Java. We have a bunch of different open source apps like face recognition, license plate recognition, gaze estimation, road segmentation, social distancing, and a bunch more that you can find on Depth AI experience repository on our GitHub. We also have AI training notebooks that showcase step-by-step training, conversion of the actual model after it's been trained, and also how to deploy the model then on the actual device. We also have an open AI model zoo, just like everyone else, with a bunch of different models that are pre-trained and already prepared that you can directly run them on the camera out of the box. So besides our AI model, you can also use the OpenVINOS AI model zoo, and combined, there are about 250 pre-trained AI models that you can directly use with our device. There are also a number of different third-party software integrations. So for example, for ROS, ROS2, Unity, Foxglove, Touch Designer, RoboFlow, Cycling 7.4 Max, and so on. So we mentioned that you can run AI on the device itself, and you can even train your own AI model, or even you can even run custom architectured AI model on the device itself. And how to actually do that? Well, we use OpenVINO tools that allows you to convert from your preferred AI framework, so PyTorch or TensorFlow or Caffe, into OpenVINO model, and then that's XML and bin files with the model optimizer, and then also compile the model into blob to be able to run it on the device. And we have a few different tools that help you with this. So one is blob converter, one is tools.luxonis.com, and we also have RoboFlow integration that allows you to train your own model and directly deploy it to the device easily with a few lines of code. And as mentioned before, we have the notebooks on our GitHub as well that allows you to do step-by-step training and conversion and deployments for the AI training. And then the other part of our platform, so the depth. As a platform, we try to be as flexible as possible for the stereo depth part, which means that we allow different camera sensors. So that's with different resolutions, different shutter types, so global rolling shutter type, and with different frames per second. You can also have different optics, so for example, field of view, and also positioning of the cameras can be custom as well. So for example, different stereo baseline distance, which then determines, so all of these then determine, for example, what's the minimum or maximum depth perception you can get. And you can easily experiment and prototype with these different camera options with our Oak FFC kit. And for example, on the right side, we have an image of a highway that's about 250 meters in depth perception accurately. And this was done by one of our customers with our Oak FFC to be able to determine highway collision detection. And when you combine AI together with depth, you get the spatial AI, as we have previously mentioned. So this is one great example of what this allows you to do. So when you have bounding boxes from the AI together with depth, you get 3D spatial coordinates. So X, Y, and Z in meters. And this is what the spatial AI is all about. So for normal AI cameras, they provide in pixel space, for example, on 2D, where on pixel on the image, for example, a cat or a robot is, so X and Y positions. While with Oak spatial AI cameras, you get 3D coordinates, so X, Y, and Z in meters. And also similar to the object detection, you also have the landmark detection. So not just where on the image, there are joints in your hands or on your body, but where in physical space, for example, your hands are. So let's first check the basic object detection models. So they provide confidence, so how confident the model is that this is an object, so where on the image it is, and also the label. So for example, if it's a dog or it's a bicycle or a truck. And we also support on-device decoding for YOLO models, and that's everything from YOLO v3, v4, v5, v6, v7, and also for the SSD results, so mobile net SSD. And when you combine object detections together with that, you get the spatial object localization. So where in physical space an object is, and from that you can also calculate distances between different objects. And a great application of that is on the video there. It's social distancing. So how far people are away from each other. And this was quite relevant in the COVID days. And with the position of the objects over time, you can also calculate the displacement, which you can use for speed estimation. And then similar to object detection, we have landmark detection, as mentioned previously, which, for example, allows you to do body pose estimation, hand tracking, or, for example, facial feature landmarks. And when you combine that with depth, you get 3D coordinates of, for example, all your joints in the body, or in example of the body pose estimation. So on the left side, you can see that someone made a AI trainer for them, and it's able to count number of squats or push-ups they do, and also the form. So if the form or if the squats, for example, were performed correctly. and they have done that with our camera. And on the right side, we have another example of that, and it's for gesture control. So they were able to control their house with some of these gestures. And another AI vision task is object recognition. So here are a few examples. For example, face recognition. That's on the top right side. You can see myself and the rock, and Oak camera is pretty sure that it recognizes the correct person. We have age and gender recognition and emotion recognition. That's on the bottom left. And also optical character recognition. So in short, text recognition. And for example, also license plate recognition. So there's a number of different AI tasks that you can perform on the camera itself. And we also have semantic segmentation. So this provides you a label for each pixel on the image. So one example on the top right is, for example, for the road segmentation. So this got quite popular in the last few years, just because of the autonomous vehicles. So it provides you where on the image there is the road. And together with depth, you can get semantic depth, which is very useful for robotic navigation, especially around unknown objects. And this is a great segue into our first customer applications that uses the semantic depth as well.
All right, thanks, Erik. So we'll jump right into our application. So as you can see, a Oak D camera has been installed on an autonomous lawnmower using semantic segmentation. So area in green communicates a blades on command to the mower. So you can even notice the sprinkler head that you're seeing right there. And area is not in green tells the mower that the blade should be off and avoid in this example. Here's an example in healthcare. They've used our Oak cameras for monitoring babies in the NICU. Instead of putting all the sensors on the baby, Oak minimizes the need for invasive equipment. So you can monitor body position, breathing, stress, and heart rate with our cameras. Example in construction and safety, working with Cobra Vision. It's a construction site monitoring to detect people, vehicles, structures, and equipment. And the goal was worker safety. There's a lot of injuries that is preventable at job sites if people wore proper PPE. And this is just one example. So hopefully it sparks some ideas of where you can use our products to help with the preventable injuries. So there's a lot of examples that I've seen that has come across my desk of example of like tree cutting, all that stuff that people no longer have to do with robotic vision implemented into their system. But moving on with the construction and safety, what we wanted to figure out was if people were wearing hard hats, safety glasses, or a high visibility vest. And in this scenario, they actually had active surveillance on the construction site, as well as IDing the structures, vehicles, and workers. So you can actually see the pylons there. If they're driving too close, that can be dangerous. So that will actually send an alert to their manager so they can have a review on the process. As well as you can see, they can detect the people, the hats, the vests, the glasses. Here's an example with Lantern. It's a long-range depth example where it allows for hazard detection for fast-moving objects, alerting workers with enough time to avoid collision and accidents. Example in agriculture, we are getting a lot of projects and applications in this space. For this particular examples that we have here, it's for yield prediction, plant health performance monitoring based on color, Like, for example, if a strawberry is ripe, it should be red in color. If it's not ready, it can also let you guys know that as well. Another example in this space is pest detection or control, where it can actually send out robots, and as it recognizes pests, it can shoot pest control. There's a lot of examples as well in some of the OpenCV competitions that we've done, and we can discuss that a little bit later. In this example for environment, we worked with Resolve. So by installing the custom trail guard cameras, utilizing our oaks on remote game trails, it helps centralizes the data and allows park rangers to intelligently cover a large area of land to prevent poaching of wildlife. So during a test phase, the trail guard camera and technology using our oak cameras has enabled the arrest of 30 poachers in East Africa and seized about 1,300 pounds of illegal bushmeat. So it's actually pretty cool to see kind of the impact it's happening around the world. Here's an example in manufacturing. Toyota North America uses AI to help them make more intelligent decisions in its factories regarding quality, safety, and productivity using our Oak D cameras. Here's an example in warehousing and manufacturing. Rapuda has an autonomous forklift to detect depth, so it can navigate around obstacles and identify target objects like pallets. And then they use pose estimation of the pallets on the device itself to be able to identify where it is and use the forklift to pick up the pallets. Here's an example in robotics. ClearPath uses TurtleBot. It's the TurtleBot using our Oak D lights and Oak D Pros. It's the world's most popular open source robotic platform for education and research. Here's an example for SIM and education. So students at UCSD built autonomous RC cars navigating a track using line detection. So we're starting to see a lot of universities use our products for education. Example in sports and entertainment, Ampere Racing. They make autonomous race cars using object detection and avoidance as a catalyst for their racing. As you can see here, it can detect the colors of the cones, where the cone is. They use a custom AI model to deploy it onto the device by first capturing the data set and then train the model. And if you combine this with Robot Hub, they'll be able to improve this model over time. And they'll be able to stream the images with low confidence to the cloud from the multiple cameras, like hundreds and thousands of cameras if needed. And they'll be able to fine tune and retrain AI models and then quickly back onto the device to make a higher confidence model. And I mentioned some competitions in the past. So we worked with Microsoft and Intel using Oak cameras in the world's largest spatial AI competitions with OpenCV. If you search through these competitions, you'll be able to see a lot more examples of how our cameras are used. Cool ones are like the ones I mentioned, where it's using our cameras with pest control, as well as a slew of other things. So awards that we've won in the past, the Oak D and the Oak D Lite has won the 2021 and 2022 Product of the Year Award from the Edge AI and Vision Alliance. And then recently we attended CES and it won the 2023 Honoree Award for Oaksom Max. So the Oaksom Max features the the RVC3. And a quad core ARM CPU. The Oak system on module allows integration into top level systems with a need for low power, high performance, real-time AI and depth perception. And with the Oak SAW Max, it's out of the box, connects with Robot Hub, which is our cloud platform, which allows for an end-to-end integration of the perception stack. And introducing Ray, our latest Kickstarter. So Ray is the first ever fully formed robot from Luxonis. It's an open source and packed with power. It's got that quad core ARM processor that I mentioned earlier into the camera itself. It will allow more robotics application on the devices. Works with ROS2, SLAM, RVC3, Depth AI, and much more. It comes standard right out of the box. Ray can be used in combination with Unity for simulation and machine learning. And you can connect it with Robot Hub, as I mentioned. And Ray also allows you to test out our different sensors and apps easily. So if someone wants to evaluate our Oaks quickly, Ray could be your solution instead of those modular devices that we have. And we'll jump into the hardware, which I will hand this part over to Erik real quick as well.
Thanks, Tony. So we also offer a bunch of different hardware solutions, so with different variations. So anything from wide field of view to normal field of view, different baseline distances. So the upcoming long range and short range. So short range is much more accurate at the short range. So for example, up to 1 meter. So examples here are like pick and place machines, something like that. And the long range model offers changeable M12 lens and 15 centimeter baseline distance, stereo baseline distance. So it's able to perceive up to 100 meters. We also offer more industrial enclosures with IP ratings for our Oak BOE models. And at the bottom, we also have Oak modules. So that's great for prototyping, testing different sensors, different camera solutions with different optics, and also our system on modules. So you can integrate the power of Depth AI and Spatial AI into your own products.
Thanks, Erik. So jumping into Robot Hub real quick, it's our cloud and API solution to enable customers to query data continuously to improve their AI training and performance, like the example we shared with Ampere Racing earlier. So you can monitor thousands of Oak cameras remotely. You can check on their status, installs, and applications that it's running. It can deliver real-time video streaming directly to your browser. What else? Robot Hub includes integrated IDE for simple in-browsing coding of visual apps. And it provides simple installs for Oak cameras requiring only a single command as well. So any other thoughts that you have that I missed, Erik, that you want to cover on Robot Hub?
Yeah, we're also really excited for the upcoming year because we want to expand to the AI as well. So as Tony previously mentioned, with Ampere Racing, so it will be able to stream the images, create the data sets, and then also retraining the model on the cloud, and then deploying it to all the different devices that you have, with the ability to A/B test, and then select the best performance model to then deploy it to all the devices that you have.
Great point. Thanks, Erik. Yeah, we'll jump into the custom hardware support. A lot of people ask if we can make custom hardware. So if you have a volume opportunity where our current hardware doesn't meet your needs, we do offer custom hardware design as well. We work with a lot of companies like Resolve Trail Guard cameras, like I mentioned earlier in our applications. And also for more complicated customized solutions where you need help with AI, ML training and simulation, we do offer that as well. Prices, priority support prices and custom hardware will differ based on project to project and the complexity of it. So my suggestion is to reach out either with your sales rep at Streakwave or contact us directly, and we can be able to help assist in answering the questions you have there. Support primarily through our forum, our luxonis.com discuss or Discord. And also we also add an email, but preferably for efficiency, it's Discord and through our forum, just so we can utilize your questions and your questions can help answer thousands, hundreds of thousands of other people as well. Key takeaways from today. So you can run any AI model on device and fuse that with depth perception to get that 3D depth. Spatial AI is the key to effective robotic vision. Oak cameras are performant, low power, and leverages the power of spatial AI and CV on the edge. And you can embed spatial AI technology into your own products with our system on modules. In 2023, just looking forward a little bit here. So I'd recommend checking out our early access store if you want to look into kind of the future of what we're coming out with. So it's got new products with enhanced next in series offerings across multiple products, many of them incorporating the new RVC3. And speaking of Series 3, the next big leap beyond the current RVC2, it includes the onboard processing, eliminating the need for a host computer like a Raspberry Pi. And then look for us to publicly release out of beta the Robot Hub. It's our cloud solution, allowing for control of large fleets of camera, as well as easy access to a huge library of applications and services. Will make computer vision even easier for both beginners and large-scale users. So our mission at Luxonis is robotic vision made simple. We're accomplishing this with thousands of our Oak cameras deployed in the field today, right now. So robotic vision isn't just a futuristic idea, it's already here and here to stay. And with that, I want to thank you guys for attending this webinar. And if you have any other questions, you can purchase or want to purchase our products and learn more about our products, visit our website or Streakwave's website. And Benji, is there any questions out there?
Yeah, there's a question that just came in. Can these cameras be used with common NVR systems being integrated into existing camera systems?
So in theory, yes. It's just not probably not the best option, since for the NVR system, you usually just need a PoE camera without any kind of AI or depth capabilities.
Yeah, if anybody has questions, feel free to type them in. We can answer them. We got a few minutes here where we can answer questions. I don't have any questions, but another one just came in. Can you explain the difference between RAE, Ray, and Robot Hub?
So Ray is the robot that we're developing, that we launched the Kickstarter campaign on. And Robot Hub is the cloud API platform that we're building that will allow you to connect to multiple devices, so thousands of them, and do the AI retraining, redeployment, continuous learning of the models.
So another question, Michael Anderson writes, any plans for integration with Gentek, Milestone, or others?
I'm not familiar with these names. Could you elaborate? Is that like a platform or something like that? I'll have to Google it.
We'll see. We can Google it, but yeah, if we're not familiar, we'll see what we can. We can also probably send out mainstream video platforms, is what they are.
Yeah.
So what would be application here?
As
Can
of
you
right
give
now,
that-
probably not integration with those mainstream platforms. I think we'll focus on our current platforms and the third-party apps that we currently are working with right now.
Okay. Well, does anybody have any questions? I don't see any new ones there. Oh, there's a couple more. How do you purchase?
Yeah,
How do
that's
they
that's where you
purchase?
can answer that question, Benji. How did they purchase?
Well, at streakwave.com, we have some Oak cameras available. You can purchase them there. If you're going to buy more than just one or need to buy in bulk, reach out to us and we can help you get several. And if you have any like other support questions, they go to you, right?
Yep. Any technical questions, feel free to go to our forum, as I mentioned, or Discord, or any way you want to contact us. You can contact us through your sales rep as well.
So another question, can this be used as an inspection system for production lines? What is the depth definition of the camera for this purpose?
So for the inspection system, I think Tony can mention again for the Toyota company how they're using it.
Yep. So I don't think we mentioned it, but we have a depending on how far you need it, we actually have an Oak DSR for short range for like 15 centimeters, depending on what you're inspecting. And also we have long range ones as well to kind of do our Oak DLR that does short, medium, and long range, I guess. But it will be able to accomplish that using our Oak cameras. So with the Toyota, I think they're using it for quality assurance for certain things, like if they're putting things in the right order, directions, how screws are tightened, things like that. So it is definitely a possibility.
And for the depth definition, so I assume it's accuracy, and accuracy, stereo depth accuracy is below 3% of your total distance to the object.
Great question.
Who would I speak with for a greater in-depth discussion of what I require from the system?
Best to ask question on the forum, and yeah, we can take a look at it on the technical team at Luxonis.
But we can definitely meet as well. We can set up a Google Meet, and we can definitely chat in person if the project, if you have a more complex project or any project, I guess. We can send you a
Well, I guess,
invite.
yeah, I guess Tony and Eric, as you talked about Discord, you have a community on Discord that could answer a lot of questions. You guys are on there yourselves too, I take it. So if anyone wanted to get into a greater discussion of what requirements they need, they should go to Discord, or I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of different ways.
Yeah, so preferred way for technical questions is through our forum, just because it's more discoverable. And on Discord, we also provide support for like a quick question that you have, for example, with the depth AI API or something like that.
And if you want a one-on-one project discussion, you can definitely contact your sales rep, which will get in contact with us to set up a meeting as well to discuss. Like I said, I can send out a calendar invite for myself and Eric, and we can jump on a call to discuss.
Jim, I hope that answered your question. Well, any more? I think it did. Okay, good. Thanks, Jim. Hey, yeah, any more questions from anybody else? I'll give it a minute. All right, I think we'll just go from there. I will be sending a recording, so when this webinar is completed, I will get a recording on YouTube and share it out with everybody. My name is Benji. I work with Streakwave. If you do want to reach out and talk to someone, reply to the emails that got sent out to you, or reach out on streakwave.com. you should be able to, someone there at Streakwave should be able to connect with you with connect you with the products and answer more questions, or even just reach out to Eric or Tony and they'd be happy to help. Jim will make sure we try to get contact out to you so that we can chat with you a little bit more. Thank you everybody for joining us. I appreciate your time. And I hope you guys like the presentation from Luxonis. They have some really cool stuff going on. And if you're interested in any more, yeah, feel free to reach out to any of us, really.